Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this hand sewn toy using blanket stitch and backstitch. First of all, you'll need to make a pattern template. So I'm just going to use a piece of paper, and because my design will be symmetrical, so the same on each side, I'm just going to fold it in half and then draw half. I'm drawing a heart. I'm just going to mark it out in markers so I can see it a little bit better. Then I'm just going to cut it out with some paper scissors. Next, I'm going to get my felt fabric and fold it over so I have two layers. Just make sure you've got two layers, and then I'm going to outline the shape onto the felt. Then I'm just going to cut that out. I'm going to make sure I'm cutting right on the line and making sure you can't really see the line. Then I'm going to turn the pieces around the other way so you can't see the marker on the outside. And then I'm just going to get my embroidery thread. You also can call this embroidery floss. This is several pieces of thread together, so it's very thick. So if you're wanting to do it a little bit thinner, you don't want to have as much of the thread, you can just remove some of the strands. But I like that thick look, so I'm just going to use the whole thing. Next, you're going to cut off a piece and thread the eye of the needle. Then just pull a small amount over so you have some extra, and then you're going to tie a knot in the end, so in the long end of your thread. Just tie a double knot like that, and then pull it tight, and try and pull it as close to the end as you can so you're not wasting too much thread. Now, as you can see, I've already started stitching it together, and then I remembered I needed to add my design. So just do your design first on one piece of your felt. So draw it on with some pencil, and then you're just going to go from underneath. You're going to poke your needle up on the line, pull it all the way up, and then you're just going to push the needle down again, just a fraction further. Okay, now for backstitch, we're going to go stitch a little bit away from where we just stitched and then go back down into the end of the previous stitch, just so that we now create the continuous line. So you're just going to continue doing that all the way on all those lines that you've got, any eyes or mouth or any other shapes that you want on your toy. Alright, when you have your design on, it's time to join your two pieces. So with your needle, just place it in through the middle, going through one side, just a small amount in from the edge. And you're just going to pull until you get to your knot, and then just tuck that end just inside the two layers. Then from the other side, you're going to poke the needle through both pieces, trying to make the needle come out where you started your first stitch. And pull until you're nearly all the way, and then you're just going to put your needle through from right to left underneath and pull again. Right, so that's our first stitch. Now to keep going with the blanket stitch, you're just going to press your needle in a short distance along the fabric, pulling until you have a little loop, and then you're going to put your needle from right to left through that loop. And then you basically just pull that tight, and you should see your first nice little blanket stitch there, and you're just going to continue doing that. So placing your needle in, and then just putting your needle through the loop and pulling tight. And just continue doing that until you are nearly almost all the way around your shape. If you come to a point where you're running out of thread, you need to just finish off by poking your needle up from the outside through to the middle and going up through the middle of your thread, and then just go underneath that stitch and come up out the top and then just cut the end of the thread off and tuck it inside and start again with a new length of thread. So you're going to sew all the way around the outside using the blanket stitch and leave a gap. This is really important because we still need to stuff our shape. So I keep some stuffing scraps of leftover fabrics, but you could use your felt offcuts, or you could use any other stuffing that you like. You could use cotton wool balls as well. So you're just going to stuff it all inside to make sure that you've got a good amount of stuffing in there. Make sure you get into all the edges and the corners, make sure that it's looking exactly how you want it to look. And then you're just going to use the blanket stitch to sew the gap shut, and then just finish off your stitch like I showed you earlier. Don't forget to trim off that last little bit of thread, and then your hand sewn toy is done.